Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Zexona Media YouTube Sports TV, the home of the trending sports news that are making headlines, that is in the entire world. Today, as I promise to give you the trending sports updates that are making headlines in the entire world. This time, we are having sad news after we have lost that is one of the football greatest players and even greatest managers of all time, and this is none other than a Brazilian legend, that is Mario Zagallo, who died at the age of 92 years. That was yesterday, the 6th of January. This Mario Zagallo, who is a former World Cup winning player and also a coach, has just died. That is at the age of 92 years of age. Mario Zagallo, during his playing career for the Brazilian national team, or for the Samba Boys, he later on played as a winger and was part of the Brazil team that won, that is back-to-back World Cup finals. That was in the 1958 and 1962, and even emerged as one of the starters in these both finals when Brazil managed to be victorious. That is during that era of 1958 and even 1962, as part of not only the winning team but even the starters of the finals during those two finals of 1958 and 1962. Mario Zagallo, he managed the side. Some of his history is he managed the side of international football, formerly regarded as one of the best international teams assembled together with the greatest international team of all time, that is the Brazilian national team, which included the likes of Edison Arantes de Nascimento Pele, who also just passed on, that is at the age of 82, also along with that is Jezinho and even Carlos Alberto Pereira, to glory that was in the 1970 World Cup. So this Mario Zagallo was the manager during the 1970 World Cup, when he managed or led Brazil to the final, assembling one of the greatest international team of all time, including the likes of Edison Arantes de Nascimento Pele, that is Jezinho, and even Carlos Alberto Pereira. Zagallo's final World Cup triumph that came as Alberto. That came when he was that is with Carlos Alberto Pereira as his assistant. That was during the 1994 World Cup. That was won also by Brazil, but by this time he was just an assistant, that is to Carlos Alberto Pereira. He returned as a Brazil manager, that is after the tournament, and led that is Brazil, that is to the 1998 World Cup final that they lost out, that is to eventual winners who were France, that managed to take that is their first World Cup, that was in France, when they beat that was Brazil 3-0. I remember those two headers that rose, that is Zinedine Zidane, to prominence when he scored in that final. However, Brazil also had still one of the greatest players, that was none other than Luis Nazario da Lima Ronaldo, but they missed out, that is on that final when France managed to beat them, that was 3-0. Zagallo, also some of his stats is Zagallo was the first player, that is was the first player or first person, that is to win the World Cup as both a player and even a coach. But later on, his legacy was matched, that is by France legend, that is Didier Deschamps, who is also the coach of the French national team, that also helped the team or spearheaded, that is the French national team, in the 1998 World Cup final that they won. And even later, that was in 2018, when he managed to lead France, that is to the final, and even make them win the trophy, that was beating, that was Croatia on the finals. And even that is German coach, former German legend, that is Franz Beckenbauer, that is who also won as a player and even as a coach, that is for the German national team. With Zagallo's death, with Zagallo's death, that means all the members of the Brazilian national team that took part, that was in the 1958 final, all are dead. There is no one that is alive as per now after the departure or after the sad news or the death of that is Brazilian football legend, that is Mario Zagallo, at the age of 92 years of age. However, as I stated before, that is was one of the first players and coach that is to win that is 4 World Cup trophies, that is as both as a manager and even as a coach. That is Mario Zagallo. However, when we get to some of his biography, that was this Mario Zagallo was born, that was on the 9th of August, that was 1931, and has died at the age of 82 years of age. Place of birth, that is Brazil. His height was not all that tall. He was 5 feet, and that is 6 feet inches. His senior career as a footballer later on, he started around 1951 to 1958, where he was playing, that was for Flamengo. Played, that is 217 games and scored, that is 30 goals. That is 1958, 1965. He later on moved, that is Brazilian team, that is Botafogo, where he played 115 appearances and scored, that was 46 goals. On the Brazilian national team, where we remember him most, he made that was 33 appearances, that is on the national team, and even managing 5 goals, that is for the Brazilian national team. However, he later on took on another career, that is coaching, and he coached, that is several clubs, at the likes of Botafogo Football Club, the likes of Fluminense, at the likes of Brazil, that was in 1967 to 1968. Then later on again Brazil, that was 1970 to 1974. Botafogo again, he came back, and then even again he came back, what was to the Brazilian national team, that was 1994, as an assistant, that is to Carlos Alberto Pereira. In 2002, he came on still as a caretaker, that is for the Brazilian national team, and in 2003 to 2006, that was appointed as the Brazil national team coordinator. Some of his previous triumphs or wins or accolades, that is, he won the 1958 and 1962 World Cup, that was as a player. As a coach, he won, that was the 1970 World Cup, and even run-up, that was in the 1998 World Cup that was hosted, that is in France. FIFA Confederations Cup, he was the winner for Brazil, that was 1997, and even Copa America winner, that was still 1997. In the CONCACAF Gold Cup, that was, he was a runner-up, that was in 1996, and even a bronze medalist in the Olympic Games. That was in the Olympic Games, that was in 1996, representing, that is Team Kuwait as a manager. He also managed to be runner-up for the Asian Football Championship, that is the Asian Cup, that was in the 1976 year. So that is that's some of the history, some of the biography that is the former legend or the Brazilian national team, former national team manager and legend, who introduced many players, that is to the limelight, the likes of Luis Nazario da Lima Ronaldo, that is Mario Zagallo, who has just passed on, that is at the age of 92 years of age. Please subscribe, like, comment, share in the entire world, as I'm Zeksunamidu, who keeps on bringing you the latest trending sports updates that I'm making. Headlines. I'm out for now.